Hello guys, and welcome to the Unity RPG tutorial. So what I'm going to be doing here is, in this tutorial series, is showing you how to make an RPG game. But I'm not going to be going over stuff like level design, modeling, and stuff like that. I'm just going to be focusing on the mechanics, like the player movements. Hopefully I'll figure out the switching between the first person and third person view. Then let's see, we have the enemy AI, the player stats, the dialogues, the merchants, and stuff like that. So basically all of the mechanics for an RPG game. So yeah, let's get started. First thing we want to do, and by the way, everything's built from scratch. Nothing is like made using assets. So 3D object, cube. Let's enter a 0, 0, 0. Scale it 10 by 1 by 10. Okay, and then we want to add a light. Let's just do a directional light for now. The red one rotates like that. Yep. Yeah, that's good enough. Let's actually make this 20 by 20. Okay, so to start work on your character first, let's actually rename this into floor. And I also want to take the directional light out. Okay, so 3D object, capsule, this is gonna be our player. So just go F2 and rename it to player. I'm pretty sure you can just right click and rename, or you can go here and rename it. Anyways, we're gonna set a tag for player, and let's have him at 0, 0, and he needs to be a bit higher up. Okay, there we go. So let's see. We want to destroy the capsule collider here, so go capsule collider, right click, remove component, add components, character, controller, and we also want to add a script. I'm gonna call it player mechanics. It's gonna be of type Java, and by the way, everything here is gonna be JavaScript. So yeah. Okay, then double click on it to open it up. It's opening in full screen for me right now. I'm gonna resize it like this. Yep, that works good. Okay, so first we need a couple of variables. The first variable we'll need is, let's see, probably the move speed. That's the speed we want to move at. Move speed, we want it to be a float, and I don't know, let's set it to 5 or something like that for starters. Then another thing we want is a variable for our controller of type character controller. Okay, and the third one is we actually want to make this private because we don't want to show it in the inspector, because we don't need to edit it. So private var current move. I usually don't type current because it's too long. I just type like C move or C rotation for rotation, which I don't know why I would need, but okay. C move of type vector 3. Okay, so there's two ways we can go about the controller. One thing is we can go like controller is equal to get component controller, which I'm actually gonna do, and I'm then gonna make this private also because we don't want showing in the inspector. But yeah, controller is equal to what did I just do? Okay, I'm also gonna need to copy these over. Okay, so controller is equal to get component right here, open brackets, and line, and here we want to just type in character controller. both C's are capitalized. And yeah, this will basically assign the character controller. Insert a semicolon at the end. Where's that? Where am I missing? Line 5. Oh, vector 3 without a space. There we go, that's better. Okay, so let's start with the basics of the movement. Actually, this error is gonna annoy me if I see it here. Okay, so first we want current move to be equal to new vector 3 in brackets. I close them immediately so I don't get confused later how many of them I need to close. So the first one is the x-axis, so we want that to be input dot get axis, open brackets, and we want this to be horizontal. Okay, so that's gonna be basically the horizontal, that's the A and D keys. Then we don't want it to move on the y-axis, at least not yet. Well, actually, yeah. But what we want to do is multiply this by our move speed. Okay, then for the y-axis 0, and for the z-axis we want it to be W and S keys. That's front and back. So we're gonna go input dot get axes, and we're gonna make that vertical, and then again multiply that by move speed. Now you can either do the times time dot delta time multiplied with time dot delta time here, or you can do it like I will later in the code. So yeah, just give me a second here. Okay, so to basically make a table to move, I'm gonna go all the way down here because you basically want this to be, for now, at the end. Did I spell it right to controller? Probably did, probably didn't, I don't know, we'll see later on. Yeah, you want this to basically be at the end of your code. So we're gonna have it controller.move, whoops, dot, not comma, move equals, not equals, open brackets, cmove, and this is where we multiply it with time dot delta time. This is basically gonna make it like real-time dependent and not dependent on your FPS. So now let's actually take the camera, attach it to your player, and let's just rotate it a bit downwards. Come on already. Oh, it is going. But yeah, you'll see that the player, he doesn't fall. We'll add gravity in just a bit. Actually, we might add that next. But yeah, we can't rotate the camera or anything, and the player just floats kinda. So what we're gonna do next is add the gravity, I guess. So we want a new float. Let's make this var gravity force. Now on Earth, the gravity type float, the gravity is 9.81, I'm pretty sure, but I'm just gonna round it up to 10. Usually that works good in games too, and yeah, probably will work here. So here we want to go if, then do this exclamation mark, controller dot, wow, I hate when this happens, if controller dot is grounded, we want cmove to be minus equal new vector 3 and go 0 on the x-axis, gravity force on the y-axis, and 0 on the z-axis, or z, depends how you say it. And then we want else cmove.y to be 0. Okay, so this should add gravity to our game. cmove needs to be capitalized. Okay, yeah, as you can see, our player is on the ground now, and let's just set it to something like, I don't know, like 10, so we can check in the inspector how in the scene view how fast he falls, and that actually seems pretty good for falling speed. So what is the next thing we want to do? It's probably, well, we have, I'm pretty sure, only the rotation left to do. So let's do that. First we need a new variable, var rotation speed. And I'm pretty sure this is in degrees per second, so let's put it a float, and I usually like to keep it around 90. I know some people like it higher, but yeah, depends on your preference. Okay, so what we want to do now is go on the top of our code and type transform lowercase t dot rotate, not rotation but rotate. I can close it. Here for the x we don't want to rotate it. On the on the y-axis we want to go input dot get axis mouse x. So basically this is gonna be like you moving your mouse left and right to rotate the camera, and we want to do that times rotation speed, and on the z also 0. Okay, so let's see what we have now. As you can see, I think that even this is a bit quick for the rotation, but yeah. Anyways, as you can see, like, the movement isn't rotation based. I'm actually gonna lower this number, 45 maybe. Oh yeah, we still have to do it times time.delta time. That's why it's so fast, because it's not frame rate dependent, but since it's not time dependent but frame rate dependent, so times time.delta time. Okay, yeah, now it's much better. Maybe even a bit low. Might want to boost it to like 135, 180, something like that. Let's see what 180 feels like. Yeah, 180 actually feels pretty good. I'm just gonna change it in the code also by default, but you probably just have to change it in the inspector. Oops, not save. Well, actually, you do want to save your scene. I always forget to mention this in my tutorials. But you want to go File, New Scene. Nope, cancel. You want to go File, Save Scene. And usually my first scene is a test scene for making a game. So